Criminal defense attorney and former judge John Creuzot is in tonight. Thank you for being here.
Oh, thank you.
20 years ago, you were here as well. We were talking Mark Furman, talking about this trial. Can you believe how much time has passed and back in the news?
Yeah, 20 plus years. Actually.
20 plus years,
yes.
Exactly. So what do you make of all this? What was your first thought when you heard this today?
Well, it sounds kind of crazy.
Right?
That a construction worker on this site would find it and then give it to a police officer, and he would hold on to it for all these years and just give it over to the police. It doesn't add up to make much sense.
No, when I first saw it, I thought, okay, this is just something going around on Facebook, and it's one of those things that shortly it's going to come up and appear on Snopes and not be true. All right, so let's talk the what ifs, the hypothetical. What if, when they get through testing this knife, it turns out to be the murder weapon?
Well, they would have to find some type of biological evidence that tested positive for either Ron or Nicole, first of all, and that's far-fetched. But if it did, it would certainly suggest that it was used in their killings.
So blood, fibers, anything that matches up with what they had all those years ago.
Yes, could be hair, for example.
Right.
Yep.
So then where do they go from there? I mean, because OJ's, nothing can happen to him. I mean, he's in prison now for, you know,
all right.
Other
He's been
issues.
acquitted. He's been acquitted,
so
there won't be another trial. No.
So any civil lawsuits that, I know that the Goldman's case has already been settled and they've gotten very little money out of that $33 million settlement. So any civil, I mean, anything for OJ at all?
That's been litigated also and to a final conclusion, and it's done. So as a practical matter, they won't mean anything legally. Now, it may change some people's minds one way or the other, perhaps. Some people will still think it's a conspiracy, perhaps.
Right.
And some people who weren't certain may think now he's guilty, but as far as the law is concerned, it's kind of a dead issue.
So what about this officer? I mean, if he truly held on to this knife and he knew what it was supposedly was, any ramifications for the officer?
It could be, but it's been so long also since he got it that there may be a statute of limitations problem.
Oh, I hadn't thought about that.
Be.
Right.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
I'm just kind of trying to think all this pension and anything, but I guess if because he's retired now, so it's kind of interesting with the timing that he just retired and oh, I have this.
Yeah, he'll get his 15 minutes of fame, and that's about it.
And all right, and talking about 15 minutes of fame, boy, this show, make sure I get the title right because it's on FX, The People versus O.J. Simpson. That is huge. So it does make you wonder about the timing because people are watching this miniseries. I know you and I are maybe a couple of the folks who haven't.
I have not.
Right,
yes.
But people are loving it.
Yes.
And so it just makes the timing kind of interesting.
It does. It may make the ratings go up or give more interest to this, even if it may have nothing to do with anything about this case. But the fact that somebody says that we have a knife that was found on the property, it in and of itself, because of the show, will raise more interest.
So how does this play out timing-wise? What is all this going to take to do all the testing on the knife and to kind of go through everything?
Well, they'll first look to see if there's any DNA material there. Okay. If there is, then they have to determine if it belongs to anybody who was an actor in this. Obviously, Nicole and Ron they would be looking for. So that could take months, a month or two, depending on the quality of it and what they can do with it.
Okay. So this could go on for a while.
Well, but I wouldn't think too long. I mean, DNA technology is pretty advanced now.
Oh, true.
And not like it was back then.
Right.
And DNA technology is more accurate today, way more so than it was back in the early 90s. So I would expect if they really put a rush on it and wanted to get it done, they could probably get it done in a month or two.
Okay. Did you ever think that this would be something that in 2016 that you'd be back here talking with us again?
No, I don't even really think about OJ, even though we spent all that time back in the early 90s on him. But to find something like this and to suggest that it may have something to do with it, the way it's all unfolded just doesn't sound real.
No. Well, we'll keep watching it. We appreciate you coming in tonight.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Yeah.